Okay, hi guys. So, first of all, I'm talking to you, all of you who are listening to me right now. You all are big people. You have got high performance and high commitment in your life, and that is the reason why you are here. Now, let me share with you why I'm here. The reason why I'm here is to share an idea with you which really created a big difference in my life. Now, but before that, I also want to speak to you, some of the people who basically face challenges in life and who basically limit themselves on achieving things. They set goals, but then they don't really pursue any action and they get stopped. So now, let me share a bit about myself. So I live in Australia. I've been living for more than 18 years. Now I'm expanding myself in India and across the world. Now, when I was born with cerebral palsy. My body was born with cerebral palsy. And in cerebral palsy, what happens? Handshake, leg shake. My speech was stammering, and I was not able to write in the exam. I was hardly able to hold a pen, and as a result, I was punished in school for not completing the homework. Or my exams, in my exams, the paper, I was not able to finish my papers. And I had a very dependent life. Now, to all the people out there, if you are facing any challenges in life, imagine a boy who feels that I'm bullied at school. I'm fully dependent on my parents and others. And he really went down to Australia to become independent, started working, started earning, and then eventually one day he finds out that his father committed suicide. What a break for him, that he was trying to prove himself, but then eventually he finds out that his father committed suicide. Now, the reason why I shared my story with you is, look, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Because I worked at MNC in Australia and I basically created my own journey. Right now, I work independently as a coach and I serve human beings in terms of developing consistency. And yes, consistency is something I want to talk to you all about today. Because you know what? Consistency basically builds you confidence, it gives you confidence. So, I've got a 4-step thing that I want to share with you. So, the first step is you got to see what basically is your existing pattern in life. And then you got to see that what's the why behind it, why you want to change it, why you want to create a new pattern. Because if the why is not strong, then you won't be able to create a new pattern. Then third comes the next step, which is creating a new pattern in your life. Now, people may tell you that you are hardworking and you basically have got a good willpower. But willpower, hard work, all that can get you started, but it cannot give you long-term results. So all the people out here, if you want to create results long-term, you need to have something which is more than willpower and hard work, and that is consistency. Consistency is a key. Now, let me tell you a small story. There was a boy who was really interested in playing tennis. So he goes on the tennis court and starts swinging the racket. Now, he was able to play the ball, and on the other side is Roger Federer, who changed the dynamics of the game. Now, both of them can play with a tennis ball. You can play with a tennis ball. I can play with a tennis ball. But now, if the ball is coming more than 150 kilometers per hour, the boy might struggle. Because the boy, the ball might occur as a bullet, but for Federer, it will just occur as a ball. The reason the boy played consistently in childhood, and the same boy became Roger Federer. So I really don't know what your goals are there in life, but if you want to master yourself, create consistency in your life, then get into action. Get into action, create a future, take action, and achieve the results. At the same time, the second point I want to share with you, and this is when I discovered about myself. I had a very limited view of my life and what I was doing and how I was living my life. Then I got a coach. With help of my coach, I basically discovered that anything and everything is possible. So always have a coach who can help you, who can serve you, who can push you, raise your standards. And because when you raise your standards, you actually awaken the giant within yourself. So that's why it's very important to have someone who can hold you accountable and basically help you get to your end result. Now, also let me share with you what can come in the way when you have decided that this is where I want to go. There is a word called distractions. So we'll do a small activity. Imagine that all of you are in a high performance zone. You are doing an activity which requires you to be highly focused in a performance zone. Then you might get a silly question that what do you want to have for food? Or you are not listening to me. So there is a sequence to everything. Over here as well, there will be a sequence. What will happen is you will basically have a response. Response might go into a discussion. Discussion might become an argument. An argument might become a fight. Now, it takes seconds to respond. It takes minutes to have a discussion. It takes hours for fighting. And it basically takes minutes or hours for arguments. Now, have you ever considered that you were in a high performance zone and then you moved away? Now there will be a time that you will require to get back into the high performance zone. So you need to calculate all the total time for it, and that's basically the total wasted time that you have got towards your distractions that have taken you away from your performance zone. Now, if you want to go deeper, imagine, like, take a note of the total earnings that you are having in a month, divided by 200 hours based on the assumption that you are working 50 hours a week. So the total earnings divided by 200 hours is basically your earning per hour. Now multiply that by the total hours you have wasted in a week, times by 4 and times by 12. That's the cost of your distractions. So if you don't manage your distractions wisely, that's what it costs you. Now, if I share that basically what consistency does, consistency basically builds confidence. Like, people start trusting you and people start believing you. You don't really need to work that hard to build consistency. All you have to do is take an area of your life, start taking small action, create a rhythm so that you are able to do that on a regular basis, and that's why you will develop a muscle of consistency. Now, finally, I want to leave you guys with a thought, which is be an architect of your life and create your own limitless victory. What that means is, you know that you are a giant within, and I'm talking to the giant within. The way I discovered the giant within me, I want you to discover that through consistency and actions, and create limitless victory. Thank you.